You now know that your breath can change your state. You have seen how it can calm your body, move your energy, and begin to release what is stuck. But now the question becomes deeper. How does it actually work? What is really happening inside your body? When when you breathe in a certain way. Now this is where science comes in. Not theory, not belief, but actual mechanism. Now imagine your body, not just as muscles and bones, but as a system of pathways. A system where information flows, where signals travel, where energy moves. Now at the center of this system is your spine, your spinal column. Now most people think of the spine as something structural, something that supports the body, but it is much more than that. Your spine is a channel, a pathway, a highway for information and energy. Now inside your spine, there is something called cerebrospinal fluid, a clear fluid that surrounds your brain and spinal cord. Now this fluid is not static. It moves, it flows, it carries information. Now imagine this. Every time you breathe, you are not just moving air, you are creating pressure inside your body. And that pressure affects this fluid. Now when your breath is shallow, fast, irregular, this movement is weak, limited. But when your breath becomes deep, intentional, rhythmic, something changes. Now the movement becomes stronger. Now the fluid begins to flow more dynamically. Now imagine directing this breath, not just breathing randomly, but breathing with intention, pulling the breath upward along the spine. Now you are creating a force, a pressure that begins to move this fluid upward. Now why this is important? Because this fluid carries signal. It affects the brain. It influences how your brain functions. Now imagine this. As this fluid moves upward, it stimulates different parts of your body. It activates areas that are not usually active. Now your brain begins to change. Now your state begins to change. Now this is not imagination. This is physiology. Now think about this. If your breath can influence your spine, and your spine can influence your brain, then your breath is not just a simple act. It is a tool to change your entire system. Now let us go deeper. Your spine is connected to your nervous system, and your nervous system controls everything. Your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, your habits. Now imagine this. When your breath is shallow, your nervous system stays in stress mode, in survival. But when your breath becomes deep, slow, controlled, the nervous system shifts. Now it moves into balance. Now it moves into regulation. Now your body is no longer reacting. It is responding. It is creating. Now this is the shift from survival to regulation, from reaction to control to create. Now imagine combining this with awareness, with intention, with focus. Now something powerful happens, because now you are not just breathing, you are directing energy. Now imagine this. Each breath you take, you pull energy upward through your spine. Now this energy begins to rise from lower centers to higher centers. Now you are not just releasing energy, you are elevating it. Now this is where transformation begins, because now your energy is no longer stuck, it is moving, it is rising. Now imagine doing this repeatedly, again and again and again. What happens? Your system adapts, your brain changes, your body changes, your baseline changes. Now this is where new patterns begin to form. Now you are no longer stuck in old loops. Now you are creating new ones. Now this is the deeper truth. Your breath is not just influencing your body, it is influencing your brain, your consciousness, your state of being. Now imagine this. And instead of being controlled by your environment, you begin to control your internal system through breath, through awareness, through practice. Now this is power. Not power over others, but power over yourself. Now this is not something you do once. This is something you practice daily, consistently, because your system needs repetition. Now imagine this every day. You use your breath to move energy, to stimulate your spine, to activate your brain. Now over time, you begin to feel different, more aware, more clear, more alive. Now this is not coincidence. This is change, real change. Now this is the final understanding. Your breath is not just air. It is movement. It is force. It is influence. And when you learn to use it, you begin to influence your entire system, from your body to your brain to your life. Because everything is connected and your breath is the access point.